You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Johnson.
AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream. This is AfterBuzz TV for the Sing-Off. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip about the Sing-Off. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV for the Sing-Off.
Hey, everybody. It is the Sing-Off for November 7th, 2011. I'm Tamara Berg. I'm here with Ronnie Jr., Kim Lai Yingling, and Steve Bottomley with Jesse Janity in the booth. So here we are. We're down to 6 groups on the Sing-Off. You guys are a little wild over there.
It is kooky over there. What's happening?
It's the heat of the studio. We're giddy.
Yeah,
and we have absolutely no idea what the time is now.
We're on for the next 4 hours.
We're technology challenges here.
Is it Vulcan or something? I don't know what's going on.
We might have to I might have to look at the watch with the hands on it on my arm.
You still wear a watch.
I do, because I wear jewelry.
Watch? What do you mean?
So
watches are a thing of the past. Everybody has like cell phones.
It's an accessory.
There's 3 people.
Oh my gosh,
Look at
you. Watches on.
You're the only one who doesn't.
My cell phone.
Are you going to pull out a stopwatch?
I've got to watch too now.
Do it. There is a fashion statement for you.
Lord.
So I think we should get into it because we started off. Okay, the 2 themes of song styles for this week were country and rock and roll. A little bit country. There was not a single Donnie and Marie reference. I just want to point out.
No, there wasn't. There was a reference that upset me.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Funny reference.
Opened up with "Wake Up" by Arcade Fire, and I have to say this was the first time the opening number did not wow me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you liked it though, right?
It was okay. Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was okay. That doesn't sound like you were wowed.
No, it was good. No, it was good. I did like it. I actually did.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't love it though. Yeah.
Okay.
It was solid.
I mean, I just thought it was. Here's the thing: a lot of times people call music a cappella, and it is a cappella. I mean, if it doesn't have instruments, it's a cappella. But a lot of times they revert to the group behind going ooh wah behind a lead singer. And while that is technically a cappella, I think it's just not a very challenging use of the genre. Right. And that's kind of what I felt like they got into with this song. And one of the groups later on in the competition did the same thing. And I thought, well, anybody can do that, do doo-wops and ooh-wahs behind a lead. Since you've got a cappella and since you've got all these great voices, really do something with it. And this is the first time I felt like they really didn't do that. What do you think, Steve?
I'm curious to know, Kim, what did you think?
Well,
traffic issues?
Listening to the 3 of you talk about it.
Called out.
I'm sorry.
That late. It was the only thing Kim Lai missed because she was in traffic.
I just had to.
She had every red light.
Every red light.
The only thing that is they're starting. This was the first time that they really started to isolate who the hip people are in each group.
The stars,
they brought up the tall blonde guy in Pentatonics. They brought up Michael. They brought up the girl from Urban Method. And I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. You're deciding,
Well, no,
who
but
to
they do that every week. They just have fewer of them to
maybe that's
highlight
what
this
it
week
is.
than
Maybe
they
that's
have
what
in the
it is,
past.
because it's really starting to be noticeable.
They're singing
now.
for a longer period of time because there are fewer of them. So that's really all I think that is.
Hey guys, I have a caller on the line who
you
would
do.
like to
Are they
speak
actually
with us.
calling to speak to us?
Well, let's find out.
Let's find out, shall we?
What's your name? Where are you from?
Hello.
And they have left you.
Okay,
well.
See, that's the way it always happens with me when people call in. Hey, how's it going? And then there's no one there. Or they go, oh my God, is so-and-so there?
They're nervous.
I want to ask you guys a question. Was there no
senorita.
percussion?
No,
I mean,
there
were you
was.
talking about the doo-wop, woo-wops? There was no bass? Was someone...
There was. It just
not
it was
enough?
just sort of, it wasn't, it didn't have a lot of dynamics. It didn't have a lot of the changing off of the lead. I mean, it had some changing off of the lead. It just didn't really thrill me. I just felt like it was kind of
You know what I
you love
noticed
it?
also?
Kinda later.
Yeah, no, I agree. And there wasn't sort of a relaxed sort of, let's just enjoy this because there's no pressure. There wasn't really much of just kind of anything there.
Maybe the pressure is finally kicking in. Six Group sounds so much different. It's exciting. We're in that exciting stage, so maybe it is kill now. Yeah.
You know, a lot of the films were people like breaking down.
Oh,
we can't do this.
That was
and all
exciting.
That sort of stuff. So maybe they weren't relaxed.
So the first group we had was Pentatonics doing
like.
Steppenwolf, Born to Be Wild, and I read the set list before we got in there tonight, and I thought this could really potentially suck. And I wasn't expecting to like the song because I just thought, it's such an iconic song. It's got a lot going on with it. And I thought the arrangement was really great. And I thought for 5 people, they made it sound so full.
Yes.
And that's one of Pentatonic's great strengths.
You certainly became, you were rooting for them no matter what.
Right.
I also thought the same thing. It wasn't a song that I was like, oh, I'm not going to get into it. But when they did it, they performed it really, really well.
Yeah.
Their rendition was nice.
Yeah.
And this is my thoughts at the end. I was like, this is really what the sing-off is all about because you take a song that you're like, they're not going to nail it. And that works vice versa, too.
Yes, absolutely.
But
there's no hiding in this.
We've always all of us liked Pentatonics, but this was a solid performance by them, for sure.
Yeah.
Goosebumps
And Steve, I want to know what you thought about the arrangement because I know you know this song really well.
First of all, did you know that this was the first song to use the term heavy metal?
No, really?
You knew that.
I was so going to say that, and then Ben Folds had to say it.
Said it before.
Yeah, and you were mad at him.
Ben
and
Folds!
It was that wasn't the gesture you used, though.
Yeah. There was
Ben Folds.
I think I saw one finger.
No. I was saying, hey, he's number one.
Number one. Yeah.
So, actually, I think whoever was recording in this heard it as well.
Yeah, no kidding, because you were yelling.
Here's what I like. First of all, Pentatonics continually thinks, okay, there's only 5 of us, but we have to do something different. And again, they started with an engine, a motorcycle thing.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
They use a lot of tonal techniques where you're going, oh, that's cool. I'm trying to figure out what that is. The other thing that they do is they went into this with thinking like they have a mixer where they're actually mixing the finished product and they're able to bring voices in and out. And you could absolutely tell that they're going, okay, now let's think in terms of a finished product. Who's going to come in here? What are we going to do? And that's, a few shows back, we were talking about how, people are going to have to change up and think outside the box and everything. And they're so good at this. They're always, like I said, if they don't have it in a song, they have it in a dance move. The other thing about this was they have the confidence to just be quiet.
Right.
And they did it once or twice. And each time everyone just went, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. It was cool.
That takes a lot of confidence to say, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, because we could get off like I just did right there. I didn't get on. Cool. I just thought it was so cool.
Yep.
Dartmouth Airs, We're Not Gonna Take It, Twisted Sister. I was kind of on the fence about this one because I felt like the opening was a little soft. Anybody? I got more to say.
Sarah said that they blended. I wrote down what she was saying. She said that they blended so well. And I feel like they blended too much. It sounded like it's a choir. It was just a choir to me. It wasn't a heavy metal
there
choir.
you go. It was a choir, and I thought they were really saying, okay, we did Queen last week.
Right.
And now we have to do better. And instead of trying to do better than Queen, which you can't, I think they should have just sidestepped.
I think so, too. Because
first of all, I don't think We're Going to Take It is that good a choice because
there's not a lot of places to go with it.
There really isn't.
Right.
But did they try, though? It sounded like they tried to go in so many different directions.
Yeah,
That's what I've seen.
I thought the choral spot that they did was kind of cute. And I liked that they weren't trying to make their group something that they're not.
Right.
So trying to work within their genre. I just didn't think it worked as beautifully as Queen did because we expected it to hear it from the Queen song and not so much from this
I don't think they're ever going to do better than that, though.
No, I don't
than
think
the
they
Queen
will
piece.
either.
No, I know.
That's a hard
Not for
one
a
to
couple
top
weeks,
because that was amazing.
Well, maybe it was a simple song that they did, and they didn't do it, 100% the best, but it allowed Michael to be shining as always. And we always talk about the opening package. This is where Michael said in that opening package, well, I never thought that I would be an entertainer prior to this show. So that stuck with me.
I know.
So regardless if it was their best performance, it made you say, what do you mean, Michael? You weren't going to do, what were you going to be, a doctor? Like, this is so funny to me, you know?
Right. Because we've been talking about for weeks about how, well, actually, I was reading the Facebook feed online, and somebody wrote early on in tonight's show, will somebody please offer Michael from Dartmouth Airs a role on Broadway, for God's sake? And you've been saying that for 3 weeks.
Absolutely. I think Justin, the second guy, I think he should have opened it up.
I do too, because I liked the gritty rockiness of his voice.
I think this was if I were like saying, guys, I would have said, Michael, step aside.
Yeah.
Let some of these other guys step up.
Right.
Because if you're up there, everyone's going to say, oh my God, what are you going to do to top last week? But if you just step back and bring the other guys back up there and just be background, sidestep, redirect, go in a different direction for a couple of weeks, and then hit.
And that
hard
other
again.
guy killed it with Animal a couple weeks ago. So they should definitely do that. Also, so you guys know, this was the group that had their cast member Jack. He was off on his way to go study. His name was Jack, and he was off on his way to study. Just so you know,
he was.
Is that the Jack off? The
Ben,
the joke
again on the Facebook page,
Yes.
somebody wrote, "Did Ben Folds really say see Jack off at the airport, or am I hearing things?" And one of us didn't hear it.
I didn't get it.
Miss Pure Heart and you know,
The two
Perfect
guys in the
Ears
room,
didn't hear it.
we were rolling.
Jack?
Apparently the third guy in
Where
the
did
room did
Jack-
too, because I heard it.
Jack off?
Oh my, because
Where
I
did
hang
he
out with
go?
you. That's what it is.
your mind is a little bit,
Yeah.
That's funny.
So then we had Afro Blue doing American Girl. I thought the chorus of the song was fantastic because they really like stuck to it and kind of gave it a little bit of a twist.
I didn't like the national
I feel
anthem.
sorry for these guys. I feel sorry for them.
Yeah?
Why?
Because
They're out of their genre.
well, here's the thing.
Aren't they all?
No, but
Kind
the
of?
Afro Blue is very jazz oriented. They're
Absolutely.
very like Manhattan Transfer, very lush. And every time they try to do that, it's always you really need to stay truer to the song. And so they don't have
that would get confusing.
They don't exactly. I think they're confused. I don't think they have the confidence. Let's just go back to the core. Let's go back to our roots. And if we go down in flames, we go down doing what we love to do.
Yeah.
And because of that, they keep ending up on the bubble, and they keep, they're being pushed and punched in so many different directions, and they don't like. Pentatonics knows what they're going to do every week, and these poor guys are like, well, is it a jazz? It isn't a jazz. What do we do? What do we do?
And then so weird to be like the jazz group, and they had to take on a song like this, the American. This was, I believe, the song that they did the national anthem.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was weird.
I didn't like
my
that.
notes were just like I've wanted to like them, but I felt like they were expired. Like their time is up on this show. Is kind of what I felt based off that performance.
Yeah.
So their expiration date is coming soon.
The one thing that I think that a couple of things that the judges said that really resonated with me. One was Ben saying, which I heart you, Ben. Don't dumb down to the audience because they do these complex close harmonies. They do these really intricate arrangements and those tones that are really hard to hit when you're standing next to somebody else and you don't have a piano or a guitar in your ear. So they do that and they keep it smart. But like Sarah said, your technique is outstanding, but the heart, the feeling, the spirit of the piece wasn't coming through. And I think that's really where their kind of downfall is.
Instead of doing the anthem, they should have just done a little jazz riff or something. But again, I think it
I
just
didn't
shows they're
understand
confusing.
that. Just because the word American was in there?
I think they're so
Yeah.
lost in what they're supposed to be doing at this point. I think
Maybe
they're
that
just kind
wasn't
of
the
like
right
going.
song for him now.
I don't, obviously not.
Yeah.
I always figured with Afro Blue, you could give them any song, and if they just trusted what they're about,
What they're good at.
what they're good at. But the problem is, a few shows ago, they did that and they got shredded.
Yeah.
And I forget what the song was, but you could see at that point they kind of went, And ever since then, they've been kind of just bouncing around. But we'll see next week. Next week, they may shine.
It's a tough position for them to be in. It really is. There was a group, if you'll remember last season, there was a group that did that kind of Manhattan Transfer close harmony thing. They were in the top 5, if I remember. Can't remember their name. And they had a really hard time with that too, because it's that jazz blues sort of sense is a little difficult for the audience audience to connect to sometimes. Right. So I think that's one of their biggest challenges. And then we had Delilah.
I'm sorry.
Take it away, Kim Lai. What do you have to say?
Well,
Singing Dream On.
I wish there was more bass. I seriously think that they need men in their group. I know it's an all-girl group.
Yeah.
They either need men in their group or they need women that can sing like men, because I think it needs to be more full.
Well, one or two of those women look like men, so
but they don't sound like like the one the redhead that you like. They don't sound like, it doesn't sound full enough for me. And I think that girl that was doing the redhead with the blue eyes, I think she's so pretty. Not the redhead you were looking at, but the other redhead that was singing. Her notes. I mean, the judges saying that she was on. She sounded so off to me with all those high notes.
Well, she opened sharp, didn't she? I mean, I turned to you and I was like,
you did. Yeah. It didn't sound on at all.
Yeah. Well, I again want to read a little something. Facebook has been wildly entertaining to me today as I was reading this.
I know, share.
So there was one, this woman said, Delilah nearly blasted out my eardrums. I felt like that song was mostly just a bunch of screaming, and at the high end of the scale. I sat there with the volume down and my fingers in my ears, and my brother even stopped what he was doing in the other room, came over to what I was watching and said, oh, for the love of God, mute that.
I think we were saying that too.
I don't know what the judges heard. I have.
Did they praise them? They sure did.
They did. They
did.
And we were all sitting there going, "What?"
I've got pitchy and train wreck in my notes.
Right.
At the end of it, it really was just a mess.
It was bad here, and it was also bad on the opening packages they talked about their last week's performance. And I don't know why, but when we watch the show, sometimes we're forgiving a little more.
Yeah.
Because what they showed right this second on today's show of last week, Alicia Keys, sounded so terrible. Last week, I don't even think we gave it that negative judgment, but going back a week, I was like, gosh, we listened to that, and that's what we accepted. So the only thing interesting about Delilah performing in this week, they were the one group who didn't say, oh, out of our comfort zone. They were actually most into doing the rock music.
Because that was your particular drinking game this week, right?
Yes.
Except that you weren't drinking.
Yeah. There was about four groups that were like, oh, so far out of our comfort zone. It's music. How's it going to be that far out of your
Bad
comfort
way to not drink.
Yeah, I know, really. You should have. The one thing that one of the judges said something about their dynamics and their build and blah. I was just like, no, there was no dynamic. They started off loud and screechy.
And they ended
loud and screechy. And they had nowhere to go, and it was making me crazy.
And one girl in the opening package, she's the one who you talked about a meltdown, had a meltdown. I'm thinking this girl wants to go to celebrity rehab. I mean, they're just
if only Dr. Drew would buff them out with an
like,
opportunity.
They are like good riddance, honestly, but that's just a thought.
Yeah. So then we had Urban Method doing Here I Go Again. This is my comment.
Well, again, when you say we're not a rock group, you are now.
Yeah, tonight and this song, you are.
Here's the thing: you're going in. You're fighting for a recording contract. So the one thing everyone in a studio wants to hear is, "I'm not this thing," because when you have all the people behind you, I'm not whatever. Because when you have all the people behind the board, when you have the studio time, that's what they really want to hear.
Yeah.
Is I'm not. I'm
gonna make this job hard for you.
Exactly.
Is what that means.
You are, and if you're not, you better figure it out really quick.
Yeah,
on how to be that.
Because clock is ticking and money is going out the door.
Besides that, I thought Urban Method, they just kind of need somebody to understand the arrangement of the cool stuff that they come up with, because their opening was kind of cool. I thought it was just in the wrong arrangement. I thought that the dynamics were off, that they could have put in, the way that they had like 3 separate things that they did in their first opening before they get into the hook.
Yeah.
And I thought the arrangement of that was wrong. And I think they just need someone to kind of go, that's cool, but switch this. Or
it felt kind of folk music-y to me, their opening. And I mean, if you're going to start off a well-known rock and roll song with, Marie Osmond.
I didn't like the arrangement at all.
I'm not crazy about the song anyway. I've never liked Whitesnake, and
I think the song is a 2 red cups in the air, meaning you have 2 red alcoholic drinks in there and you're singing it. It's maybe a karaoke thing. So I kind of wanted to have that fun.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like this?
yeah, it is. You guys know that's one of those
Not
songs.
that I know what that
a
is.
2 cups in the air song. So I'm kind of like, oh, I want to see it. I think it'll be fun.
Right.
You know,
You want to see it drunk.
I do. I totally do. Now, this group I like because of their friendship camaraderie thing. That's cool. You could totally see
Yes,
it. They're
yes.
the most with that. But why did they jump so quickly with the rap? Like, I felt like if they wanted to do that and make that bold choice, make that the icing on the cake, not right off the top. I thought that. I mean, it wasn't right off the
This
top,
was
but it
the
was
short
soon.
song, wasn't it?
Yes,
It was
yes,
super short.
Well, that's
It
how
was quick.
That's how we.
It was
yeah.
quick, and I think that might go back to what I was saying. I don't think there's somebody saying move this around. They don't have like a musical editor
Yeah.
to kind of rearrange
The
their
rap
stuff because the
should've
stuff
been
they
at the
come up
end.
with is pretty cool. I just don't think they're getting the most out of it.
Yeah,
Now,
Troy was okay.
I remember
though,
the
on it.
beginning, and I wrote down that I wish the girls would have went a little bit higher. I wish there would have been a little more. How do you say?
A higher octave, like literally just a higher. Oh, okay.
Yeah, some higher notes. I just felt like they were all singing the same kind of, and I wanted to hear the next step up
Okay.
in regards to notes.
I'll let them
right.
know.
Thanks.
So then we had Vocal Point
Steve will make a
doing
Make
the
that call,
Kinks.
Steve.
You really got me.
Yeah.
It was this vocal point. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted some more grunge and some more, bottom to the backup on this. But I thought the lead was fantastic.
It was very dark.
Yeah, I didn't know where they were going to go with it. They had that super sexy sort of,
Yeah.
exotic. Yeah.
yeah, that slow thing.
It's their
But
inner
again,
nasty.
but the thing about it is,
From Idaho. Where are they from?
Even
Utah.
yeah.
Idaho.
Same thing.
no,
They don't.
they're
The people in
Mormons.
Idaho and Utah don't mind you saying.
Oh
that
my
at all.
gosh.
They're the Mormons, so the only thing sexy is the underwear. So even the Kinks and Van Halen, when they cover the song, it doesn't really go anywhere. The Van Halen version all led up to Eddie Van Halen's guitar solo.
Yeah.
Big surprise. But the Kinks version doesn't really go anywhere either. And that was kind of the same problem with this one. They had that slow opening, which was cool, but then once they got into it, okay, now what? Now, the end. There wasn't any there. It just was kind of like, okay.
Well, again, I think that one of the difficulties when you're doing a rock and roll song within this kind of group setting, not group setting, but a cappella group setting, there's, these are like really carefully trained singers where rock and roll is kind of slippery and slidey, right? And so somebody said that was proper rock and roll. And I thought, no, that was proper rock and roll. You
Yes.
know what I mean? I
Right.
felt like it was, even though the Kinks are British, the sort of British version, the proper English drink some tea version
Right.
of this rock and roll song. Not,
Right.
No,
I'm
again, it's that thing of, are they can't make themselves something that they're not.
Well,
so you've got to work
but here's
with
the
it.
thing. I also have a note here saying that they have to watch their choral aspect because they're going to have to figure out a way to get beyond that, wall of sound
Yeah.
It's
sort
like
of
Dartmouth.
thing.
Dartmouth.
That's going to be the challenge for both of them, for Vocal Point and Dartmouth, is because they're going up against pentatonics. There's just 5 voices, and that gives them a lot of freedom to do that cool stuff that they do.
You guys,
Yeah.
is Vocal Point, are they the only ones that go to school?
No. Afro Blue is a college group.
Oh,
is Dartmouth.
okay.
And Dartmouth
But
Harris
are
is
they
a
the
college
only
group.
ones back in school at this point?
Yeah, they were the only ones. They have to take the bus back to go to school.
That was kind of cool that they had to reherse in the vans and stuff. I mean,
No,
that was,
you know
gotta
what?
give 'em credit.
No, you know what I just
Yeah.
found out today.
I thought that was good, yeah.
Vocal Point is the only group of anybody in the sing off that actually they took a semester off. Once they got into the competition, because I'm sure their actual performing began before school started, so they they started in August or something. They took a semester off. They collectively decided to take this semester off.
Vocal Point.
Vocal Point did.
But they're back in school now.
Apparently not, because they took a semester off. I just read it today online.
Then what was the bus ride though back? They were talking about
Well, I think
or before.
I think they must have started off the semester, in
Oh,
September.
and then decided.
And then in October they went, the rigors of this are too difficult. I can't do it. So
would
they've
be-
taken the semester off.
I would think that'd be extremely difficult. I mean,
Oh, I see. So they tried
Those
to do
shows,
both.
yeah,
and
and
schedule.
they've
Okay.
decided to take the
Now, but
they
do
take
you
a
know
furlough.
if any of the other college groups are they?
They
were
said that
smart
this
enough
is
to
the only one that has taken the semester off.
So it could
That's what they
be-
said.
Okay.
well, I think
Or
they're
that's what
cute.
I read today.
I like watching their choreography.
Yep.
So that was the end of Rock and Roll.
No,
that was the end of the Rock
That's
and
it.
Roll.
They
done with that
had
one.
the cheesy
The
70s.
choreographer, the
and the
costumes.
fluffy.
But
Yeah.
they're so
Fluffy shirts.
good
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, they really are.
They were okay. They weren't the best in this. Yeah, they were okay. They were all right.
Then we went to a commercial.
Commercial
And
break.
And then
was
we went
back.
to country
That was
music,
fun.
except we don't watch commercials until the last 30 minutes.
No.
So then we went to country.
Yeah,
the
that's-
Dartmouth Airs
Yay!
did Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy.
Not the most manly performance at all.
No. And you know what?
At
I
all.
did not like that two of them were both singing the same part at the beginning.
Really?
I didn't like it. I thought. I mean,
Listen,
there's Big and there's Rich.
yeah.
I mean, I think one needed to sing and the other one needed to sing. I think they needed to continuously switch off, not sing the same stuff
So
together.
trade off the lead as opposed to
Absol-
doing a.
both of them doing the lead.
You had
It was a lot of. It was a lot of cowboys.
you had two.
There
you
was
had
a lot
two
of cowboys.
singing to each other, and the
But-
rest of them were dancing
And
around.
Big and Rich don't sing to each other.
It was sort of difficult to kind of listen to the performance because you had that element. They were singing to each other, and
The
then
tight jeans?
You know, you
Are
sort
these
of
the
like
tight jeans
yes,
group?
yes. There was more than one tonight, and then you sort of like your eyes go to a certain person, and there's this gentleman in a poof. He wears a poof, and I will just say, in fairness, he was quote unquote working it. I mean, he was.
They were all
I feel
working
like
it.
Joel McHale on the Soup will
Yeah.
gladly give a nice little commentary on
Yeah.
their performance.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay,
The
that's
sing-off-
your prediction.
The
There
you
sing-off,
go.
the
There you
sing-off
go.
will get an extra little buzz because
Here's the
of
thing.
Ronnie bringing
If
out
you
his
look-
prediction
If
early.
you look a
poof.
little effeminate and then you get into a cowboy outfit and start dancing around, you look really effeminate. And then you're dancing behind two cowboys who are singing to each other. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was
Here,
working
look
it.
at here's what
Yeah.
I got. This was the gayest group of cowboys
They-
I've ever seen. I'm not saying they are. I have
Yeah.
no idea.
No.
I'm saying in this
Wait,
presentation.
where's Dartmouth from?
Dartmouth.
Dartmouth.
they're from Dartmouth?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for all we know, the guy in the poop, he
New
might,
York, Connecticut, something like
he
that.
might be like
I am
Prince.
not
and-
geographically inclined. Okay, and I don't get jokes. Jack off. Oh my gosh.
I thought.
And yet no calls.
I thought I thought the
going.
music was really good on this one, though. I
mean,
thought it was
listen.
fun.
Are we
I
still
thought
talking
it was
about Dartmouth?
full.
Back to the performance,
we
yeah.
are.
Okay,
and
Big and
I
Rich.
really liked where they picked it up and did double time at
Yep.
the end. I thought that was really fantastic. Yeehaw!
You know, I couldn't
It was
follow.
a fun. It was a fun start.
I couldn't really follow the critique from the judges because there was so much voice and noise, and there was just so much stuff going on that I was
Yeah.
kind of visually I was so distracted that I just kind of and they're singing, so I just figured okay, you're not on the bubble, so you're fine.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeehaw. Then we had Afro Blue doing Need You Now by Lady Antebellum. Beautiful.
It was awesome. If they had a stronger first song, they wouldn't have been on the bubble.
No, I know. It was really
You know
beautiful.
what? I for whatever reason I didn't look at the screen for this song. I just kind of was
were just
ready
listening?
to write.
I did
I was just
see.
listening.
I thought you fell asleep. Yeah.
No.
He was looking at his
I
Mrs.
did.
Fields cookies.
He was.
while
I was like,
Were you on your
he
third
had
glass of
wine, He had some chocolate.
wine?
I was like, he's done.
Yeah.
He's
No.
he was out of it.
The opening, it was like you go down this tunnel of these lush tones and these wonderful sounds, and then you're just
They
brought
do
into
have a
this
nice
hook.
sound.
Yeah.
And I just didn't need to look. I was just so
Did you guys-
enjoying the.
Well, they
the
felt it
sound.
too. I mean, at the end, I think that song, they were so emotionally connected to that song that they were, I mean, that's why they were crying at the end. I mean, could you imagine how they felt after that song is over?
So
like
it
the release.
surpassed
They
the
nailed
original.
it.
The
I've never
crochet
heard it.
sweaters have to go.
You've never heard that song?
You-
Oh, for God's
Really?
sake!
Wait, so do you guys think it surpassed the original? Because that was my only thing. That it was really great, but it didn't surpass the original.
I don't think
and
so.
the original takes you into this passion zone. That's just really and
but for them, I think for them.
I don't know the tears. I just didn't. I was the only. I'm like on my own on this, and everyone probably hate the comment, but I didn't. The tears. It was good to watch, but I
this
didn't.
is
I
the
didn't
they were
challenge-
fake?
But that's the challenge that Afro Blue has. What you're talking about right there is if they try to make it their own, they get the critique of but it's not like but we didn't hear this or there wasn't this, which is why I don't know the original. But the song that I heard from
original's
Afro Blue
great, yeah.
It's a beautiful
was
song.
really tight and nice, and the way they laid it out was really great. So
It was solid.
They
I
didn't
think
change
the
it
thing
a
that
whole
was
lot.
the thing that was super interesting to me is like, okay, if you see tears, you almost know that you're gonna see tears. When I saw tears on them, I was like, oh, they're emotionally connected. Where I'm saying I didn't hear it throughout the song,
Oh.
then I just seen it at the end. I
At the
think
end,
usually
at
when
the
that
end.
happens, you're like, oh yeah, this performance is about to have some tears. I didn't see that. I was like all of a sudden shocked, like, oh, they were connected. They got tears. Is that fake? Like I didn't. That's legitimately what
Well,
I
and
said.
somebody on Facebook had mentioned, "What did somebody die? Did I miss something? Because why all the crying? You know." So you're not the only one
Yeah.
who felt that way.
Yeah, oh, some crazy Facebooker.
Some
okay,
crazy
good.
Facebooker who
I
I
am
met.
in
Ronnie.
good company. Yes.
Gentle souls on Facebook. What? Someone die? Jeez.
But now I want to talk to you about the second half of it, where they sort of reinterpreted the song. You felt that let the original down. I thought it was really spectacularly beautiful.
The arrangement aspect.
Yeah,
of it?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. And the second half.
I think it's weird because I am like sort of tearing it down in a way. Yeah, that arrangement aspect was really, really solid. I'm just going off that song itself takes you to this spot, like this passionate spot that I'm like, oh,
when it's 3:00 in the morning, you're drunk dialing your ex,
Yeah,
and not
yeah,
that any
okay,
of
yeah,
us
let's
know
go
what that's like.
Let's go lyrics. Yeah, let's exactly go
Because that's
lyrics.
what it is.
And so that to me, I was like, well, everyone was critiquing as the good. Oh, connect, they connected. I was like, what
But
did
you
they
didn't feel
now?
like they connected?
Musically, they were great. I'll give them that, you know, and like you said, the arrangement. But did they connect? I didn't. I was missing.
You weren't
that.
connected.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't
They
connect.
didn't connect
I
with
want to
you.
feel hot and bothered when I hear that song, and I honestly wasn't. You know.
Okay.
You know. You want
Ronnie,
to feel.
not hot and bothered.
You want
We're
to feel a
just
little
gonna say.
sweaty and a little hard breathing and all that good stuff. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. All
Did you have
right.
any wine?
He
This
didn't.
song-
That's the
He's
problem.
the only one that didn't drink.
Because he's not into the wine. I think we have to bring
This
the
song
hard
Are
is
liquor
you
about
kidding
next
me?
week.
Last week I was into the wine. I was into the cow suit and the Jamaican whole vibe. Yes.
Oh, you drank the wine last week?
And the
Oh,
week
you
before,
did.
and the week before.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems to me like there was
He
more
drank the
for me,
wine.
which is not a good thing because I thought you weren't drinking for a couple of weeks. So
No, I've been.
Yeah, we
drinking.
kind of like that Ronnie doesn't drink.
no, not me, not me.
we did. It was fun.
I have a
More for
headache when
us.
that happens. Urban Method comes up next with Before He Cheats. Okay, the one thing I really just hated about this was pretty little souped up 4-wheel drive. I cannot stand
Agreed.
literal choreography.
Oh.
Wasn't there-
4-wheel
Hey,
drive,
it
and
wasn't
then
their
on my
forte.
my leather seat. I mean, I just don't give me
Not their
Fort.
forte. Not their
Fort.
forte. I'm joking.
Fort.
I'm building that. Setting it up for you. There
This
you
was
go.
the Carrie Underwood song, right?
Yeah, I can't stand the
Didn't-
literal choreography.
I
It
don't
makes me
like that
crazy.
either. No.
Thank God the lyrics "See Jack up at the airport" wasn't in this song.
Oh my gosh.
That was a home run. That was a good one. Comedy genius over there.
Okay, here's my note on that. Here's what I got. Enough with the screeching. By
Yeah.
the time they came
Yeah.
in, everybody else had done the huge, I'm going to scream my guts out here.
Yeah.
That by the time, it was like, stop, just enough.
Right.
Because there really is a technique to doing that, and you better have a really full, strong voice. Otherwise, it gets really
Messy.
nails on the
Messy.
chalkboard. Yeah.
And messy.
I have notes on my page that make no sense. So that's just that sums it up. I mean, no, there's words that don't. There's words that don't even make. I don't. Yeah.
They just missed. I think
So,
they just
so,
missed.
so too.
I'm just gonna turn. There's like
So let's move on to Delilah.
toilet paper.
Okay.
I mean, I just so
Toilet
that's
paper.
that sums.
You were right.
Right there it says there were a few high parts, but all in all, they missed.
Yeah.
Delilah,
Yeah,
If I Die
definitely.
Young,
Translation.
comes next. Sparse, pretty. I didn't know the original song.
I didn't either.
Um,
But I did like this one from them.
Here's, mine is ooh really the best you can do there? You've got.
But compared to all their other...
It was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but here's
they
the
get
thing.
most improved
Stuff?
for this one. Yes.
But you can't compare it to what they've done. What you have to do is compare it to what everybody else is doing. And if you really think that the rest of the groups are going to come up and do, hey, the only noise we're going to make is ooh, we're good. You
Right.
don't think that they're going to kind of figure out a way to do something else with their voice.
Right.
So that's.
Well, this is why.
This is why.
They're only.
They are...
It was like their most improved, award. They.
because
Are
they
all-
pared down.
They've always done not the greatest. I would say that like this performance, I was every single time they are up there, I'm like I'm nervous or I'm like on the edge of my seat. This was the only time I was a little more comfortable watching him. Like, oh, okay, go ahead. But again, that's only because that Alicia Keys.
You know what?
Why were we so nice about their Alicia Keys performance last week? Because it was really really bad. Now that I think of it.
But that's a good point. The country western part, I think everybody was, for whatever reason, a lot more relaxed. I was a lot more relaxed watching them. I think it had to do with the exception of Dartmouth Airs. I think it had to do with how they presented it. And how everybody just seemed like, maybe it's something to do with the music. They just seemed a lot more relaxed.
Because,
Yeah.
Country is beer drinking, kicking music.
Oh, and who made the comment?
about it being
two
so
red
depressing.
glasses.
Was it this group
Somebody
that
made a
talked about
comment.
it being so depressed?
It was Sarah
about
Bareilles said,
dead
yeah.
They
goats
said that, and somebody said it's not a big genre, and like I don't listen to a
That
lot
was
of country
Sarah,
music.
wasn't it? That was the judge.
But I know that country music, it's smash. It's
Massive.
like if
It's
I
But I
could.
wonder if she meant like on competition shows.
I
That's
maybe
what I'm
because
thinking.
But
that
this
is
is a
the
middle
case,
America
but-
show,
Right.
and I mean Scotty,
there's not a
whatever
lot
from
of-
American Idol. It's like
I think that's what she was trying to
well.
say was that it's as a genre, it's usually not represented in these type of you're not going to see it on the X Factor or an Idol or that sort of
yeah.
thing. But as a music, and she should know this that
Well, she
country
tours
western
with
artists-
Sugarland. She
Yeah.
does know that.
Yeah.
They are
But
the
so
top
that's why I
selling-
think she misspoke.
Yeah, she misspoke.
I just was glad that I, for the first time in this entire performance, didn't have to sit there like, clutching myself watching them perform.
Right.
As I do, as a side note, for every time Nick Lachey talks. Every time I'm a little. I'm also
I was
like.
asking you during. It's like I don't understand. I don't even know why
Why
he's
that train has
hosting.
crashed? It's not like it's going to
Every
back up and
week.
crash again.
Every week it crashes.
He found a way. He found a
Totally
way.
awesome, Nick Lachey.
Why can't they give him a co-host? That would be so great. Vanessa Manillo. That would have been so perfect. But
You know what? They don't even
He
need a
was-
host.
He was kind of slurry tonight.
You
too.
did say that.
Yeah, there was,
Enunciation.
there was a few where he was just like running through the titles and stuff.
Yeah.
I think they
and-
gave him too much to say tonight.
Well, and the corniness I don't blame because that's the writers. So it's not
Right.
that. We're not judging the corniness. It's a it's a
People,
show.
we need to move on.
Okay, let's
Vocal
go.
Point did "Life Is a Highway." The car opening, the right? Wasn't that great?
yeah, I'm
Right.
amazed at what people
Second
can do
time
with
we
their
heard an
voice.
engine. Well, there you go. That's and that's what they have to start thinking about. What else can we do? What else can we do? Because the bar's being set someone who's saying every week it changes like your favorite. And-
It
Yeah,
did
you were
this
saying that
season,
too.
yeah.
Right, and every week somebody sets the bar to a new level, and they've got to start. And if you're not aware of where that bar is, you're going to be on the bubble.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about them. It was super fun. They're showmen, but you know who they remind me of is the Cat's Pajamas early on. Do you remember the group that was the standard group in Branson? And one of that's all they did was they did 300 shows a year doing
this
acapella.
this
Yeah,
season
they
or
were
this-
in.
She's
They,
taking it.
That was the first episode me and Tammy did
taking it.
together.
She's taking it back to like
we're all
September,
like,
August.
do you remember Jesse when we talked
And
about that?
As soon as we saw them, we were like, they're good.
They're good, but they're too. Yeah, they're too
Oh.
polished. Sorry, everybody. I've only been here from the very beginning. Okay. Anyway,
I like how you're
they're-
agreeing with her.
They're
I never let the co-host go. Got to support. Got
Thank
to
you.
support. That's what I do. She does like me.
Were you supporting?
No, I gave it that. long ago.
maybe they're not super complex, but they're showmen. They're great fun to watch. They're always solid. That's sort of how I feel about that.
It was a
Well,
fun.
now I don't know if
didn't like
that's
the
going
lead
to take
vocal.
them. I don't know if that's going to take them into the finals. I don't know if Sony's going to turn around and say, "Hey, let's put an album out about your showmanship."
Right.
And sooner or later they're going to have to deal with that.
That wasn't a bring it performance at all.
Right
No.
now, vocal point for me is you're not the worst,
Yeah.
but they're not for me. They're not the best.
The best thing
they're
they
not
had
the
in
worst.
the best thing they had in that performance was just like the element of the crowd. I mean, it was a big hand clappy moment. Leading off, the little singer, very very puny is what I wrote.
His voice or his
puny.
body?
His
whole thing?
Yeah, his whole thing. So
See,
that
I
that
wanted
didn't-
his mic turned up.
Oh well, because maybe he's
you
puny.
couldn't
I don't
hear,
know.
but then you should have his mic turned up a little bit more. I
I-
mean, he needs to be a little more present. I didn't think his voice was strong enough to maintain all of that with that huge background.
Yeah, and Sarah Bareilles
Yes.
said they are so freaking cute, then adorable, then nice guys.
That's our fallback drinking game.
Sweet. I mean, you don't want to. Do you want to be called
If you're
sweet?
adorable means
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That it wasn't that great.
Yeah, you weren't that good.
Yeah,
That's all I have to say
you
about
guys,
you.
your costume looks so good. She does that too.
Yeah. We closed out country with Pentatonics doing Stuck Like Glue. I thought it was really groovy. I loved the breakdown and the transition into the reggae. I thought that was super
Oh,
fun.
that was good. Yeah.
Right?
they're
I got-
amazing.
they
You
start,
said they were likable.
I did.
I wrote it down for you.
Oh, I'm like, I didn't write that
Yeah, there's
down.
not a lot
What?
there.
That's not what it says.
I'm controlling your thoughts now. No.
I think they're amazing.
I thought they started out like with a campfire and ended up in like a beach bonfire.
Yeah.
Right.
It was
In Jamaica.
small in Jamaica. But in the beginning, there was just a flare. It was like, oh, that's kind of a cool little thing. And then they broke into the full on.
Did we think they were gonna be this solid? I could honestly say like they've been somebody
No.
we've been watching lately.
Haven't they
all
been
of us.
consistent
A
though?
couple of weeks ago,
They might have been
missed.
consistent, but like I don't think any of us thought we'd be like kind of liking them. We're rooting for them.
Oh, I've always liked them though, but a couple of weeks ago they were missing a little bit. Like they lost, what made them so cool, and they found it these last couple of weeks, and since then, they've just been a lot of fun.
I was impressed that she was able to do what she did.
Yeah.
She looked sick. I mean, she was throwing up all week, and she's sick.
Well,
but she, oh my God, she pulled through. That other girl was complete from Delilah, crying, sick. And it's like, you know what? I don't care if you're sick. I don't care how sick you got. Don't complain about it. Just do your job.
Right.
Do the show.
Right. Well, some of them are kind of young.
But
Some of them don't know about that yet.
was that harsh?
No, it wasn't.
Pentatonic. If she
It's the
stepped
reality of
up.
showbiz, is what it is.
Exactly.
It's not harsh if
She
you're-
stepped up.
It's not harsh if you're
you got
cutting the check for
$200,000, exactly.
See, you just
it's a business.
got to do what you got to do.
Show business.
So then we had Say for Pentatonics, Urban Method, Dartmouth Airs, and Vocal Point. And who called it that Afro Blue and Delilah would be in the bottom two? Oh, everybody!
We all
that's
did.
very
That's
true.
right.
We're that
That's
good.
right.
It hurt to put Afro Blue in there, but
Yeah.
It didn't hurt me.
I did a reverse psychology
I
in this
wasn't
one.
hurt about that.
Yeah, you did.
Which was so cool. So every week I've said, oh, please, Delilah, I want them to go. So I said today, and I don't know if I told them, but they were like, oh, really? You think, it's going to be Urban over Delilah? I was like, yeah, it is going to be absolutely Urban. So I chose opposite of what I really wanted, and luckily it worked out.
It did work
Yeah.
out.
one day that'll work on the lottery numbers you always choose. Because you're always intentionally choosing the wrong ones.
It's like when you root for a sports team.
fool them.
Yeah, that's
One day that'll work.
that'll work. That will work today. Thank you. It's like it was one of those things we've been waiting for this group to go.
So
So sad.
Delilah is out, the super group. Their swan song was one of the first ones that really kind of sucked.
Yeah, if the
It was
judges had any
horrible.
question on whether or not they were
Yeah,
right
as
to
they
let
were
them
Nana
go.
Hey Hey Goodbyeing,
Yeah.
we were all like, haha, if you ever wondered, see ya, good work.
Weren't you reading some funny stuff on Facebook? Wasn't someone saying something?
I got a little bit more of that, which we're going to do the news now. I'm not the news. I
Okay.
mean a commercial now, and I'm going to come back and just read a little bit more
A few little-
feedback, and then we've
Okay,
got
great.
some predictions for
Cool.
next week. So we'll be back in a second.
The biggest new media platform on the web just got bigger. More bandwidth, smoother streaming, lightning fast download.
Don't get technical with me.
AfterBuzz TV is making the jump to hyperspace. Join the fun at your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Look at the size of that thing.
AfterBuzz TV.
Whoa! This is a very challenging position we have here.
Wow. You all right over there?
And of course, when anything like that happens, I blush like crazy. So my face matches Maria's
Yeah.
dress.
It's dangerous in the
I just hit
studios.
myself
with
with
these
my
headphones that you've been wearing for the last
I'll
half
cover
hour.
my black eye with like
long,
that.
long night here. Long night.
We have it on tape.
A couple of things that I saw on Facebook that were just cracking me up. It was just making me laugh tonight. And so actually, I would like to call out to all our fans. If you have things to write about the sing-off, put them on our Facebook page because you can find us on, what are we at Facebook? AfterBuzz TV on Facebook. You can also
Slick.
follow us on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. And while we're at it, let's all do our own Twitter feeds. I'm at Tamara Jewelry.
I follow you. I'm at
I know I follow you.
That's we're good. I'm at Ronnie Jr. Media.
Ronnie Jr. Media.
And I am at Kim Lai Yingling.
Oh, you hit it there. Okay, nice.
And Steve.
What's Twitter?
At Twitter.
I'm at, I'm going to do that one of these days.
Yeah.
.com.
At I don't care.
Yeah. At what the heck is Twitter.com.
I've got 2 teenage boys. If I need to do any of that
Yeah,
stuff,
you
I
just
just
call
hey,
them.
I need this done.
You text your kid
Yeah, text my kid.
and have your kid do it. Dartmouth is in New Hampshire. Just so you know. The
New
Dartmouth Airs
Hampshire.
come from Dartmouth College, which is in New Hampshire. So there you have it.
Where is that?
It's way over there.
It's not here. It's over that way.
That way.
Yeah, it's way over that way.
Head east.
There's also a Dartmouth, Massachusetts.
Oh, there is.
Oh,
in
no
case
wonder
anyone
I am
wondered.
so confused. I was thinking Massachusetts.
Oh my God.
Where are you now?
I'm getting a
Yes,
welt on my
no
eyebrow. I just want to
wonder.
say.
And
there's
where's
a college.
Massachusetts?
You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's-
for
it's
real.
UMass Dartmouth is
Right.
Right.
See that?
There you go.
I knew it. I
Right.
knew it.
Isn't it a type of bass?
I-
Dartmouth bass.
Dartmouth
It
bass.
also is a best.
Okay.
It is such a late night.
Okay, moving on.
One of the things
We're just so giddy that Delilah's on.
Yeah.
We miss you.
no offense, but bye, Delilah.
Sorry.
People are
Oh, and
still
how about that girl's
talking
nose? I'm
on
sorry.
Facebook.
Hey, what's
Oh my
It was an
gosh.
outstanding nose.
I
she
think
had.
the lighting was a little off.
It was her nose that she was born with. Okay. Back
Doesn't
off.
she do the bass
Some
on
of us
that?
have imperfections
I
and
have a
things that we
bunch.
don't really like to talk about, and so we don't highlight them, and we don't have other people highlight them either. People are still missing very consistently every week. I see it on Facebook. North Shore.
Really?
Yes, they're still going. Bring back North
But
Shore.
we know they wouldn't
bring
have
back
been,
North
they wouldn't
Shore.
have made it that much further.
They would have made it a little further.
Yeah.
But why you can't bring them back?
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
It's
And
just
I honestly, I
it's just
think-
people
You can?
commenting.
I think
No,
it was a good
no,
time. I
no.
think it was a good time for them to go.
I
Because
would have
it-
liked to
I
see
think
them
it-
for at least one more week.
But I think it would have gotten painful. And here's what I didn't want to see. I didn't want to see these guys
Outstay their
get
welcome, yeah.
embarrassed or get into a painful place where it was just like, oh God, no, don't do that. I wanted to see them, just kind of go out where they could go, this was fun, and we showed you what we could do.
Timing for
I
right
understand
for
what you're
you?
saying.
Timing's
I just
everything.
think they still had at least another weekend.
What was the episode the following? Does anybody know that they didn't?
No.
Okay. All right.
No. So, and again, just speaking of Delilah and bye-bye, my favorite quote of the week from Facebook: "Since when is screeching like an alley cat beautiful?" And I think that says it all for Delilah. Bye, bye,
Well, you know what?
Delilah.
Urban Method better take note of that too, because they were a bit screechy.
Next week we
They
have
were.
R&B, which is going to include
All right.
Motown and soul.
Cool.
I'm so looking forward to it
Cool.
because we're going to
Yeah.
go into the 70s. Hopefully, if
Where
we're going
the
to hit
good-
Motown, we're going to go into
where
the
the
70s.
good
I
music-
love it.
Where the good music lives.
Your AfterBuzz TV.
I know this is a bit of an easy one to do at this point because there are only 5 groups left, but I
Okay.
would like to whittle it down to 2 or 1 if you're comfortable with that.
Of
I am.
Who's staying and who's going?
For overall, who's going to win the competition?
Oh.
If you're open to that, and I'm going to say right now, I'm going to
pick
say
mine.
Pentatonics.
I agree.
I second.
Oh,
I agree.
My two I wrote were Pentatonics and Dartmouth there.
okay.
But I'm going with Pentatonics not only because of the talent,
yeah.
but I'm thinking that if the record company has any say in this, they're going to go, wait a minute, only 5 people to deal with, as opposed to the
25
19 over there, and
Right.
the 12 over here.
Don't you think the 5 are more marketable? Their sound, their look, everything about them is more
And
marketable.
Pentatonics themselves are the most versatile with they're the least.
They are.
They're the least like, oh, we got to do country, darn. Like they kind of.
And the girl
match.
looked
Here's
good
the thing:
tonight.
if
She
you
looked
take
really good.
Pentatonics and everything they've
had the
done,
stomach flu.
You can track any one of
helped
their.
her.
You can track any one of their songs and go, yeah, I'd listen to that again.
Right.
Whereas a lot of the other bands, groups,
They're a little
you'd
spotty.
Have to say, yeah, they're a little spotty.
I just didn't think we would say that about Pentatonics, and now look at like
I
getting this
know.
close.
But I have to say, because you watched last season, compare Pentatonics to Committed from last
as
season.
far as being so strong, no, that was a for sure. This season is we're
right.
like this every single week. Maybe it makes it a better show this season.
yeah,
you
maybe
know?
so. But I
The
got to
first
tell
season,
you,
I liked the group that won. I can't remember their name, the Latin group.
I don't remember either.
And that to me made me feel like they were commanding. So yeah, this is the one season that we don't have a commanding group, and that's fun to watch because you're like, ooh.
I haven't been surprised on who's been let
Kicked
go
off?
in the last few weeks.
You
No,
are really
it's-
good at your kickoff predictions.
Well, you just listen to what the judges say. There's key words and there's key phrases. You go, okay, enjoy your time on the bubble.
exactly.
But at this point, I unfortunately I think is Afro Blue.
Is next.
Well, I think
Or
they're
Vocal
going,
Point.
I think Afro Blue is going to be okay next week because it's Motown.
Soul and
Yeah,
Motown and
so-
R&B.
Is it a double
Right.
Hopefully
performance?
they'll shine. Yeah, hopefully they'll shine in that, and it's probably. God, I have no idea if it's not Afro Blue,
Urban Method.
maybe, or Vocal.
What do you
Point.
guys think about Vocal Point? Because they are a group that does so good sometimes, and then they're
think
and
I
right
am
now they
getting
have to
mixed
do so
up.
good.
Here's what I think. They're not the worst right now, but they're not the best. I think sooner or later, and I think in the next few weeks, obviously, possibly next week, they're just not going to bring it because we've seen everything in their quiver. There's nothing. They're not doing anything new.
What did you say? They're quivering. Vocal Point and Dartmouth Air are kind of in the same category, and I think one of them is going to get kicked out pretty soon.
Yes, they are.
Because they're that chorally college group with big voices.
It's not going to be Michael.
They're not knocking Michael off. No way. Mm-mm.
Right, and Vocal Point doesn't really have that shining.
I think it'll be Urban Method.
That what?
We'll go off next week.
Because you're right about the afros and the whole R&B thing next week.
All right,
they'll shine.
Okay.
Could be.
I wonder what songs they're going to do. That should be.
I know it's going to be interesting. Do look on Facebook the day of on Monday. They usually put the song list up there, or at least
all the
search
songs we
follow
suggested.
my Twitter leads.
I
am so
Twitter feeds
tweeting all of
You
this.
tweet some very interesting things.
I do.
Yeah.
Anything else anybody got to say? I think that's it.
No.
Couple
Visit
weeks left.
Eaton.
Yeah.
EatonAsian.com.
Spell it wrong, but
She's
kind
getting
of right.
her own coffee.
Yeah.
From Colombia.
And we know one thing, that Jack, he's off. He's off the show.
Jack is off.
Jack is off.
Also, check out TamaraCentral.com. That's my website.
I love that website. I go there every day. Me too. Oh my God.
And what do you do when you're there?
Never mind. Thank you for watching, everybody.
All right, we'll see you next week for the sing-off. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Why is she cheering?
Oh, my.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz ya later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.